Chapter 26, Healing Prayer. O thou loving and helpful Master Jesus, thou who gavest to thy disciples power to heal the sick, we, recognizing thee and realizing thy divine presence within us, ask thee to lay thy hands upon us in healing love. Cleanse us from all our sins, and by the divine power of omnipotent life, drive out the atoms of inharmony and disease, and fill our bodies full to overflowing with life and love and purity. Many pupils, when they receive this prayer, either address it to a personal Jesus or refuse to use it at all because they object to praying to a personality, be he ever so godlike. We wish it understood, therefore, that in this prayer we do not pray to the man Jesus, but that we recognize him as the High Master who is at the head of the healing hierarchy, ever ready to answer such a call that this prayer sends out. Only such a call can pierce the clouds that hide the earthly from the divine and make a channel through which the divine healing forces can reach you. We also use the name Jesus because of its great potency, the name Jesus having been used for centuries in connection with the thought of personal help and healing power. To utter a name is not only to define a being, but to place it under and condemn or obligate it through the omission of the word to the influence of one or more occult potencies. Things are, for every one of us, that which it, the word, makes them while naming it. Therefore, do not hold the erroneous idea that you are to worship any personalized deity, be he ever so high, but endeavor to realize the divine presence within you of the Christ force, which the Bible allegory makes a living factor in the world in which the Master Jesus personifies. Pause for one moment and try to grasp the idea that to realize the presence of the great healer, as in the prayer you say you do, is for the moment, while the realization lasts, to become one with the divine. You then understand that the real self is not a mere personality made up of worn-out and dying atoms, but is something divine, one with God, all holy and all powerful, one with all good from eternity to eternity. This realization may be but a flash, but in that flash you have partaken of all that can be imagined of power, strength, and glory. With this understanding of the prayer, never repeated without pausing at the words and realizing the divine presence within you. For it is not something outside yourself, but an inflow of the divine made possible by the opening of your heart and consciousness. If your eyes could be opened to see the effect the repetition of this prayer produces on the higher planes, the forces it brings to your aid, you would realize its beauty and its power. When you say, "Lay thy hands upon us in healing love," it is a literal adaptation of the words, "Thou hast made thy angels thy handmaidens, and thy ministers a flaming sword." For the angelic host minister to all pure hearts who desire their help. The hands which you ask the great Master to lay upon your head are his powers to accomplish, which powers are executed by this host of angels, who have the power to carry the divine force to you. When you recite it in harmony, the angels crowd around you like flocks of doves, to ward off harmful forces and protect the germ of your physical, mental, and spiritual life. For it is a spiritual battle cry, calling to your aid the angelic host, whose joy it is to succor those who fight the good fight. The Bible speaks of the angels as always beholding the face of the Christ. That is, their development is such that they can see nothing on the earth plane but the Christ principle, or the face of the Christ in each heart. If that face is obscured by clouds of selfishness and impurity, they cannot see you and consequently cannot bring you help. But the instant the cry for help goes out from the heart, they fly to your aid at the command of their leader. Angels have always been recognized under various names in all religions. They belong to a different evolution from humanity, although closely allied and necessarily have different lessons to learn and different work to do. They are complementary to humanity, strong where humanity is weak, weak where humanity is strong. They stand to humanity as a true wife should stand by her husband. In fact, they may be said to represent the feminine aspect of humanity. They are the ministers and stewards of the mysteries, the hosts of the Lord that carry out his commands. They are the go-betweens and messengers, and have a might and a power unknown to mortal man. We must never forget the love we owe these ministering ones. Upon the highest plane of spirit, life is the one life which can be nothing but perfection. The repetition of this prayer is like a projectile fired through the earth's atmosphere, creating a passage through which the one life must necessarily flow. As it passes from plane to plane, it manifests upon the soul plane. The plane of creation and of redemption is a spiritual love. Thus does the Son of God, the one life, descend from his Father to redeem the world through love. When the spiritual love reaches the plane of generation, the physical plane, its manifestation in the body is purity. Thus, the Christ manifests on the spiritual plane as the one life, on the soul plane as love, and on the physical plane as purity. This is the rationale of all healing, and thorough recognition and realization of the presence of the spiritual life force, and its working out in a threefold manner, produces that harmony which is health to both mind and body. It also harmonizes condition in your environment. Unkindness or hatred in your heart produce inharmony and sickness by condensing your aura and shutting off this force of life from you. If you send a thought of hatred towards a person, you put a wall around yourself, which only your own loving thoughts and prayers such as the above can pierce and break down, and which shuts out the life force from you and permits disease to flourish. Whenever you desire help, physical, mental, or spiritual, either for yourself or others, repeat this prayer, meditating on each word and trying to realize its true meaning on all planes of your being. Realize that there are currents of spiritual force which are potent and bring renewed life and strength to your physical body, as well as peace and content to your mind and happiness and joy in your soul. And in this prayer, you are consciously invoking these forces. As the Master Jesus gave to his disciple the power to heal the sick, and has never withdrawn that gift, so every true disciple who firmly believes this and faithfully strives to manifest the Christ principle within him has now the power, through the laying on of hands by the summoning of the angelic host, to bring this one life into manifestation, and thus dissipate ills and promote health and harmony. Once more, healing prayer. O thou loving and helpful Master Jesus, thou who gavest to thy disciples power to heal the sick, we, recognizing thee and realizing thy divine presence within us, ask thee to lay thy hands upon us in healing love. Cleanse us from all of our sins, and by the divine power of omnipotent life, drive out the atoms of inharmony and disease, and fill our bodies full to overflowing with life and love and purity.